Oh, nice.
1914 was a very big year at the Ford Motor Company. It was the first full year that they built these on the new moving assembly line. So, Mr. Ford was seeing how many of these automobiles that he was now able to build and decided that he was going to lower the price, because if he built all those extra cars and they didn't sell, that wasn't going to help him or anyone else. So they were going to lower the price from $850 down to $500 so that all of these cars could sell. And it worked, because in 1914 they were able to not only build but sell 300,000 Model Ts. All the Model Ts use a 4-cylinder, 20-horsepower engine. They were actually capable of going somewhere very close to 45 miles an hour, but since there were no roads to do that speed on, there were very few times where anyone was going nearly that fast. Most of the time the road was so bad that they were going about 15, possibly 20 miles an hour, and that was it. But that was twice as fast as they were used to traveling in their horse carriage, and they were quite happy with that speed.
What about the color? Only black? Green?
They started out being in color. The very first one in 1908 going into 1909 was a lovely shade of carmine red. Very bright fire engine type red.
I saw in the museum.
They stopped being in any color but black in 1914 because of the moving assembly line. The moving assembly line was moving so quickly that changing the color was slowing everything down. He didn't want to slow his new process down, he wanted to make it go faster. So he decided he wasn't going to change colors any longer, they were only going to get one color. And he picked out the cheapest paint, because when you're building 300,000 cars, that's a lot of paint and it gets very expensive. So it actually had the added bonus of drying a little quicker. And so starting in 1914, they became black only. That continued until 1926, and in 1926, they brought the colors back. At that point, you could get a purplish color, which was called Ford Maroon, a dark green, a tan, a brown, and a gunmetal blue, which was kind of a blue-gray. Those were the 5 colors you could get on the Model T. They built them all the way from 1908 until 1927 because Mr. Ford thought that they were the perfect automobile and they didn't need to change it and he didn't ever need to stop building it. So they built it for 19 years.
What is the difference between the 4A and the T?
The biggest difference is the size of the engine.
Oh,
The Model A came out in 1928, and because of the paved roads, it was more important for them to go faster. The people that were buying the cars at that point had grown up with automobiles. They were not timid about driving them. So when the roads started getting paved, they wanted to go fast. This car was built for the dirt roads. It had a lot of torque, but not a lot of high-end speed. So it was built to get you through the mud and up and down the hills and in those rutted roads. So he had to sort of change his thinking on the next automobile and build it with a little more speed. So instead of this one, this is a 4-cylinder, 20-horsepower engine. The next one was 4 cylinders, but it was 40 horsepower. So they doubled the horsepower so that people could go faster. This one uses this 3-pedal system. It's called the planetary transmission, and it's actually very, very close to an automatic. The problem is the way it works, it wouldn't have handled the extra torque of that higher powered engine, so they went to a regular 3-speed stick like we're used to today. This one here, the way this works, this is your accelerator here, this is the gas. So then we have the 3 pedals down here. This one is the brake. This one does reverse. This one shifts the gears. If you press it all the way to the floor, you get low gear. When you let it all the way back up to the top of the spring, you're in high gear. Halfway down is where you find neutral, so that when you're pressing your brake, you can stop.